This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, are the real star of today's show, because we're here just to talk about sim racing news in particular, and just to find out and check in with our various favorite things in sim racing and see if there is any new news. This is the last pit stop of 2017, and it has been a heck of a year. And tomorrow on the Sim Tunnel, we're actually going to talk about 2017, 2018. I'll get to that at the end of the show. But we are here to talk about what's going on in today's news, and it has been a slow week as we expected, with it being the holidays, New Year's coming, everybody kind of ramping up for 2018, and probably some much needed vacations by a lot of the staff of the favorite companies that we like to play their games or use their hardware. So let's go ahead and get into the news, talk about what's going on, and then we will just go on to things that we want to talk about and move on to that kind of stuff. Starting with, not a lot going on, as I mentioned. Raceroom, they are talking about their new LMP2 GT3 series. It's 2 weeks away. This is their official series, the RR Leagues, they're calling them. And they have a shortage of P2 drivers right now. So if you want to get in there, find a spot, find a good Raceroom league to run in, that could be the one for you. So you might want to go check that out. Found it out at the Twitter feed for Raceroom. You can go over there and check that out. Something that came out a few days ago and I didn't mention was Race Sim Studios did the RSS GT pack. This is pay for DLC. Pay for DLC. So this is not by the guys at Rfactor 2. This is by the guys at Race Sim Studio who did these incredible car models, and they made them available for purchase as an add-on pack. And we talk about the modding world and what can it bring to us. And if you look at this picture here, anybody else see a resemblance? To me, this is a striking resemblance to GTR. Or GTR2, the Simbin title from way back when. This was the Viper of Henrik Roos, the owner of the company way back when. And what's really also funny, a Ferrari and a Lister, I believe, are the three cars there. But I distinctly remember these cars. Anyway, to get around licensing, they are called the Ferruccio 55 V12, the Tornado V12, and the Vortex V10. Obviously, those are not the real names of those cars, and anybody who knows cars knows that is absolutely a Viper, that is absolutely a Ferrari, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a Lister Storm, I think it was? Please, let me know if I'm wrong about that one, but I'm pretty sure that's what the blue car was. Anyway, this pack, if you're interested in it, it is something that you can buy, and it's just DLC and add-on content, and right now you're looking at €13.50 for the pre-order price on the cars. But historically, and this is a topic I've thought about doing on the Sim Tunnel, talking about DLC from the real company versus DLC from the actual manufacturer versus free versus paid content and what you get. And I think of the flight sim world, and it's very common for people to pay for a flight sim add-on mod. You see a plane that you like and you want, and you go ahead and buy that DLC from that individual or that third-party company. Very popular. We've always been a little more resistant to it, and so therefore it'll be interesting to see how they do with this pack. They've done other packs in the past, so I'll try to get a copy and see if we can find out what it's like and do some footage of it. Beyond that, last topic in the news that I really have, a few stories I have beyond this, but this is the straightforward news, is I talked about this the other day, the newest developer blog out of Rfactor 2, and I mentioned it for you guys to go read, and I myself didn't fully read it and still haven't fully read it, but one of the things they talk about here is how in the early days of Rfactor 2, they really, in their opinion, I'm not trying to point a finger, they had it wrong as far as their tire model. And between some work they've been doing, Niels Hussingveld, and others have entered data and opinion, and there's a great image of how their old tire model worked versus their new tire model. But again, we've been talking about, and this is a big story of 2017, is really the momentum that Rfactor 2 is seeing right now. and it had come out quietly. It had been a little bit slow in its progress, and then Studio 397 gets involved, and it has been bam, 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 bam ever since then. I believe the Lister Storm is British, and I'm still, has anyone confirmed that that actually is the name of that car, if I'm not mistaken? So, anyway, but you can check this out. This is at Rfactor 2's website, so you can go there and read the whole detail on it. Really good. You want to know how detailed our sims are and what's going on behind the scenes or under the scenes or in the math as you're driving. This is a good insight as to how much is being taken into consideration. It's not just as simple as, you know, a tire hitting the ground. There's a lot to it, and that's why you'll hear, whether you're talking Rfactor, Assetto Corsa, Forza, GT Sport iRacing, tire model is a big deal. And the tires are the first and most important part of racing in most people's opinions. Obviously, a motor is going to beat another guy's motor, but if you have an even playing field, it really comes down to tires. And so it's important that the sims... Thank you, Billy. Thank you very much. Thank you, John. Thank you very much, you guys. So that's it on the news. Other big announcements. Sim Racing System. We've been having a lot of fun on Sim Racing System, and they've been doing a lot of Assetto Corsa series. They've expanded into Rfactor 2 and even Automobilista. But like anything, it sort of starts off small and then continues to grow, just like our series has. But they have made the full announcement. So if you go to Sim Racing System starting January 1st, you will be able to drive the new series. And there's a bunch of good ones. And, you know, you've got series from, you know, me. You got series from Gamer Muscle, Aussie Stig, Sim Racing Paddock. A bunch of different leagues running series there. But you know I want to promote my series, and you know that I love what we're doing with the Battle of the Beamers and moving into the McLaren next season, but there are some really good racing going on every day of the week at Sim Racing System. So go over there. Don't think just of our series, but go check out these other ones. And if you're looking for more racing, you need more dedication to sim racing, this is a good way to find more racing going on. So the new schedules are up for all series, and that probably is a good time for us to move into talking about our series as well. So congratulations to Sim Racing Systems, by the way, on all their progress and moving along, getting more and more series going, getting more and more community built up around it as well. I don't think there's a console version of it, unfortunately. And that takes us to the next topic, which is our series. Whoops, let's get that down. Tonight, we have Race 2, Battle of the Beamers, and any of you who follow the show, follow my racing efforts, know that Friday nights have sort of become Redemption Fridays because of poor efforts on Thursday nights. I was actually in the groove yesterday. I ran into, if you didn't see that stream, it was a nightmare from minute one, a train wreck, if you want to call it. I literally, my system wasn't running right. I had to run in singles, not triples. I came into qualifying late. I had a big wreck at the beginning of the race that wasn't my fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was racing. That's the way things happen. And it was a very exciting race, though. It was fun. It was a good stream. Maybe not good for me, but maybe good on the entertainment. But tonight, 6 p.m., we have our final race of the season in the Battle of the Beamers. And if you've been running in this series at all, I want to thank you guys for being there, because last night I think we had 73 people racing with us. We had a bunch of splits. The competition is getting higher and higher and higher each race, and it has really, really been a lot of fun and getting even more fun with each and every race. So tonight is the final race of the season. I'm really looking forward to it. I need a good result because, again, it's Redemption Friday for me. And thank you. Yeah, my comeback was strong. And again, I felt very hooked up. I felt strong for the race. Nothing went my way from minute one. But that's the way it goes in racing. You got to take the good, you got to take the bad. And that's the way it is. I was going to sing the song. Anyway, beyond that, that takes us to next season, which is going to start off for us on the 4th, January 4th. That's Thursday night, 6 p.m. on Sim Racing System. So I just showed you the whole calendar for all the series that they've got going. Ours in particular is the McLaren F1 GTR, and we're going to start things off at Suzuka, and then we're going to go into Road America, Imola, Brands Hatch, Spa, and then finish with Laguna Seca again. That's the way you guys voted for the car. You guys voted for the tracks. That's what we're going to run. So that starts up on the 4th. We will have a server. Thank you, Dennis, to Big One. I got a lot of thank yous with it being the end of 2017. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much for having that server up and running for us to practice on and run as a group. And it has really added to the overall strength and power and fun of the series. So thank you, and thank you again, everybody who's run with us. But come out tonight for that race, and then come out next week and join us. Wednesday night, we run a group practice that we stream. Next season, I'm going to put up a Simpit t-shirt. I'm going to put up a red Simpit t-shirt for next season. And we will, as long as you score points in each and every week, you'll be eligible. We'll do a random drawing for the t-shirt winner. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is just something I don't really push this hard. The description, it is in a link to our Patreon site is in the description of this show. And we have about 35 people who've already joined. We all hang out on Discord and talk and BS all day long. There's some other perks that go along with it. But check that out. I'm not going to push it real hard, but I am going to mention it once again. Beyond that, we have our stream this evening at 6 p.m. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to do a final sim tunnel of the year. I'm going to solo this one, so it's going to be me, and I'm going to be depending on you guys. But I want to talk about sim resolutions. What kind of resolutions can we make personal to be better at sim racing, to get more out of sim racing? I want to talk about 2017 a little bit and what it's been like. And I want to talk about what we think and expect out of 2018. So it should just be kind of one of those hangout, talk, BS kind of shows, and just put it all on the table and see what we can predict for the future. And most importantly, look at ourselves and see what we can do to be better in sim racing next year in 2018. So that's going to do it. Again, this is the final pit stop of 2017. I want to thank you guys sincerely once again for being part of the pit crew, part of making this show in particular and this channel so much fun to do. It has been an incredible year, and I just want to wish you all the best, the happiest New Year's, and the best things possible for 2018. I think it's going to be a great year for sim racing, and that means it's going to be a great year for all of us. This is the Pit Stop. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.